how do we know now for the new Earth children to get it right so they don't have to go through what we've gone through with a
Right.
government name and the name that our parents want us to know it, be known as. And I thought, well, we've got this now as a resource to go in and go to the team registrar and they will tell the parents. They will say, well, actually, they're coming in on a mission and this is the mission name, or you can choose to call them their soul name. So it's going to be good for that purpose because our parents were told and given downloads before we were born, but whether they were listening and aware of it is another thing. And so they went off onto another name that they just always wanted. Like in my case, my mother always wanted to name me Wendy because she'd had it ready for the child before, but it turned out to be a boy. So she had it in her mind the whole time. If there was ever an opportunity, there was going to be a Wendy, and that's just how I got it. She wouldn't have been open to receiving anything else outside of that. So that's why I didn't get my mission name because she wouldn't have been open to it. And it's like a lot of parents, they were not open to receiving because they weren't awake, they weren't consciously there. Yet you see a lot of the starseed mums and light workers today, and they know instantly what the child's name is, like in the case of Willow. You know, Tamara was saying, well, I'm going to call her Willow a long time before she was even born. And then I saw her in a meditation and confirmed it. So she had that right. And she is a Willow. She's truly a Willow. She responds to it. She is a Willow personality. She's a fairy personality. You know, it just connects with her more so than ever. Um, so I think, you know, in our case, that by going through this and being able to help people down the line is going to be a blessing, especially with new earth children, because if that's not right, it affects their mission and their vibration. Names have consequences. And that is why some people have wonderful good luck in their lives, others have drama, trauma, not because of their soul contract, but also the frequency of the name that they're given. So names do have consequences, just like a word, because it's a
Mm.
spell. Okay, so what's in a name? So I'm channeling at the moment the team of light of register, and they are the ones that manage the registers of names, of souls, operations, missions, and names that, you know, maybe parents have given you. So the name meaning, the word name meaning you're addressed by it or you're known by it. So it's not even who you are. A name is a name given to you by someone that wants you to be known by that name or addressed by it. So it can mean anything really. It's not really
Mm.
who you are. We're talking about the light energy frequency, consciousness, vibration of what you are in a name.
Mm.
So your parents, PAIR, they're a pair of people who rent you. Pair rents. They only rent you. Once you're a certain age, you're out, you're gone, you're individuals. So the peer rents wanted you to be known as the name they've given you, and the government wanted you to be known as that on the birth certificate. That's all it means. Nothing more, nothing less.
Mm.
So then when you go into naming meanings on whatever, books or Google, they'll have a name meaning against your name. And quite often it's not actually correct because we know with the biblical names they have different meanings. So some of them just been made up, like my name was made up. They don't even have a real meaning for it. What are we looking at today? We're looking at your soul name, which is from creation and God. So God called you a certain name when he created you. It's like when they do a clone, you're a number. Mission name is for the present lifetime you're in. So this is the lifetime you're in, and you're here on a mission, and who you are and where you came from. So if you're a starseed, you'll have your starseed name. If you're angelic, you'll have your angel name. If you're a elemental, you'll have that, so forth, or your shaman name or whatever. Then we're all in the same operation. That's why we know each other. We are in a mass world global operation that we came for, and that is the mass awakening of New Earth. That's the operation we're under. So we chose to come into this operation and have a mission name. So that's how that works. The team of register masters work with the soul contracts as well. So where we went to get our information about our arrival day is in the same place in the 9 dimension with the register of names. We can also have known names from past lives that you might resonate with. And sometimes you get called that, and people, don't understand why some people keep calling you that. It's probably because they knew you in a past life and they know that name. And that's why sometimes when you hear a name and you turn around and there's nobody there, but someone's mentioned it, it's because you resonate with that name. It's probably been a name that you've had in a past life. So you've got God's name, you've got your star seed origin name, you've got your mission name, and you've got past life names. And it's up to which one you connect most strongly with. What name do you most want to connect with for your mission, service, and purpose, is what they're saying. Now, if you're in a position where you quite like the name that your parents wanted you to be known by, and a lot of people have told me, oh, I quite like the name my parents gave me. I can't think of any other name I would want to be. That's because they're happy with it, and yeah, they feel connected to it, and your parents were on a good thing and they knew consciously that's who you were going to be, or else they aren't conscious enough to understand there's more in a name. So it can work both ways. It just depends how your life is looking. And if you go back and look at repeated patterns, you'll see sometimes it's your name that's been connected to something that hasn't really worked out for you. And that is why when you go for job interviews and that, it's certain names that always get the jobs. You'll be surprised how many people get jobs with unusual names. And working in HR, I know for a fact, the most common names in the world normally don't get picked. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
You agreed on the name your parents chose for you as part of the soul contract you had entered into with them. So we chose the day we wanted to come, we chose the city we wanted to live in, we chose the parents we wanted, right? But that was because you were entered in a soul contract with those parents, and that was for that purpose and that purpose only. But because you're here on an operation, you have to know or want to connect to your mission name. Others want to connect to their soul name. Most don't connect to that name, often changing it or creating a nickname. So when your parents called you something and you didn't like it, you created yourself a nickname. And you hear a lot of people say, oh, don't call me Nicholas, call me Nick, or don't call me Jack, call me John. It's because they don't connect with that name and they want to be known as something else. That's part of that level. Today's people, now this is what they told me, and it was really interesting. Today's people connect more to their online name and handle.
Oh, well, yeah, that's true, isn't it?
That's who they think they are, because it's not a real world. It's a world of their own reality they've created. And so they go on and they have their handle or their tender name or whatever it is, and they connect to that name more than they ever connect to, because it's a world of false reality, as it is a world of pretend and fantasy, they said.
Yeah.
Surnames, bloodlines are not important. And listen to this, when a woman takes on the husband's name, the lifeline vibration changes for her, connecting to soul debris and more links in the energy field of souls.
Oh,
Take
my.
on the husband's family trauma and DNA, taking on their name.
I didn't. I kept my own, thank you.
I did too. I went back to my name straight away. But if the family is dysfunctional and the husband's family has got all these issues and medical issues and family disharmony and all these other things happening, you take on that vibration when you change your name to his name. And this is why when women get married, the marriage fails, because you're better off just as a union. A lot of people live together for 4 or 5 years and then they get married, and all of a sudden the marriage doesn't work because she's taken on that name and it's not working for her. And so this is what it is. It's vibrational. Isn't that
Wow.
interesting? I hated
Yeah.
my married name. I absolutely hated it. And so did my kids.
Oh
They
my
chose my
word.
maiden name. So you take on all the soul debris that's sitting in his bloodline and his soul line and his soul contracts. You take on the sisters, you take on the siblings, you take on the
Oh,
aunties, the uncles, the grand. Plus, you've got all your own. Now, you know what this was all about? Disempowering the woman,
mongrels.
letting her think it was a good thing to take on his name.
Ashlyn didn't change hers either. She's still a mountain too.
Good. Um, And it's interesting because my sister, when her marriage divorced and he remarried, she said, I'm going to drop that name straight away. She said, because I don't want two of us, Mrs.
Oh,
and connected to him in this world. So she went back to a maiden name. Isn't that interesting?
mm.
But all my sisters that have been married 2 or 3 times went straight back to their maiden names. So did I. Because you take on the soul contracts and information that's floating around in that debris area, and it disempowers you. And sometimes when women get married, their whole life changes before them because you've changed your name, you've changed your destination, you've changed your
Mm.
vibration. It's not who you are. You're taking on that family. It's really
Well,
interesting.
it makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, get on. Oof.
Especially if the man's family has bad history and karma. You take all
Yeah.
that.
Oof. No thanks.
Changing,
Wow.
and listen to this, changing your signature can also have consequences. If you become connected on paper or in speech, unwelcome energy, or depending on the union, it can be the opposite. So if you take on another name and you write it on paper, contracts and everything will change. And this is
Oh,
when bad luck comes in, karma experiences come in, same in speech. When you are Mr. and Mrs. So and so, you're no longer the person that you were here to be. You become this other person connected
mm.
to all this other soul contract and debris. So it changes
Gee.
everything. People don't realize when they're getting into paper contracts and they're writing it, you're putting it out there straight away. You're inviting everything that's connected to that back
That
into
name.
your soul.
Mm.
And it's really, really powerful what's in a name. So when you think about these things, what really gets me is, so when I took on my ex-husband's name, my life completely changed dramatically, and it was the worst time of my life.
Oh my word. Oh my word. That's just whoa.
I know. The other thing is, if you take on their name and they come from a family, so say like if you're with this person, um, and you've been living with each other for a while, and you realize his family is quite poor and your family is quite wealthy, you've got a price to pay
Get on.
either way, whichever way it goes.
Oh.
Because if you marry into a poor family, you've got a price to pay. You're giving up something. If you marry into a rich family, you've got a price to pay. You're never going to be good enough for them if you come from a different background either. It's because you're taking
Mm.
on that name. That's what it's all about. That's why in royalty, they try to keep you all in the same name and,
Mm.
inverted cousins and things. They keep it the same. That's why in India and places like that, you don't marry out of your class.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Yeah.
So names and contracts do not mix. Isn't that interesting?
Totally.
To change the frequency, you must be the name that resonates the most to your soul and energy to be truly free, with no ties or debris of energy. Because even the name your parents wanted you to be known about has their debris. Common names, overused names, do not ever become successful or settled. It's like I said in HR, if you have a common name, quite often you miss out on the job because you've got 4 or 5 Marys in the office and 10 Sarahs sitting over there. They don't take you on. It has to be something different. It's about trends as well.
Mm.
Companies, big corporations go for trends, remember? Looks good on
Oh,
paper, on email, if you're a certain name. So watch for trends because trends can be dangerous and programming of names can be dangerous. And how often do they always put out at the beginning of January the names for the year to program the parents?
yeah. Yeah.
You must feel your name and know it's truly you. So to feel that name, to know it's truly you. If you don't feel connected to that name, it's time to drop it and your life will change. The vibration will change. Not to be known by, but to be who you truly are. So you don't want to be known by that name that your parents thought you would like to be known by. You want to be who you truly are. We come today to help bring in the ways of old single names to be known by and signatures of the future will change to symbolism.
Nice.
So you won't sign a name, it'll be a
Yeah.
code. That brings true happiness, success, and abundance. So you see, they've been blocking us with our names, especially in service and for those that are working in the higher good for all beings, humanity, for the rebuild. So they're telling us we have to be in that energy and that frequency to receive the abundance, to have the success in the humanity work that you're doing, not success in matrix, success in
Mm.
helping others. Ask yourself, where were your parents in their journey when they chose your name? As that is an imprint in your life and journey. So if your parents were in a bad space and she accidentally got pregnant and then she named you what she wanted you to be known as, she's just imprinted all the fear, all the crap, all the shit, everything into you in that name. You're carrying it with you for the rest of your life. Imagine if you were, I was talking to the electrician that was here the other day, and he's got a little 3-year-old and he's raising the child on his own because
Mm.
what happened was he had a one night stand and she got pregnant and she wouldn't abort it. So he ended up raising it. Can you imagine what imprint that child has? Poor child.
Yeah, but because we're changing everything in a new world, and because the child's a child, the child will be a new world and the new earth, then it'll clear it, won't it, for the child? It's not the child's fault.
No, what it is the new earth children will already come through with the parents and the non names like Willow. But
Yeah.
for people like us that are coming in to do the rebuild and to push forward the awakening, we're in the wrong energy.
I know, I get that. But I mean, like that child, the child will come to New Earth. Will the connotation of the name, will that change? Will they clear it for the child, or the child has to go through what we've gone through and has to
Oh,
change it?
at the moment, no, no, we're not in New Earth yet.
No, no, but when we are.
But when we are in New Earth, it'll be different.
Good.
That's
Okay.
why we have to lead the way and show them by being who we truly are, associated with the name that we feel we most reconnect to. and push forward with that vibration, because I'll see it in us, in the way we are, the way we behave, the way we act, the way our energy, you know,
Yeah.
it's so different. So you see, what's happened is over the centuries, over time, we have been brainwashed into the whole, let's go with a trend name, let's do this, let's do that. And it's not really who you are when you've come into this mission. And so a lot of people don't connect with their names, and they have bad luck and they miss out on opportunities and everything due to that name.
Oh, God, they really done us, didn't they? In every way.
I mean, what names do you mostly feel connected to? It's like with me with Amelia. I truly am Amelia. And it's funny because even Janet said to me just this morning, she said, I love how Caleb calls you Amelia. And I said, yeah, that's who I am. I'm not Wendy.
No,
He was
you're
looking really
definitely not.
weirdly at Linda when she called me Wendy. It was like, who are you? Because I am Amelia. That's who I am. I'm not Wendy. Wendy was the name that Mum wanted all her life because she had a boy called Peter, and then she wanted a Wendy. That's all that's about.
Wow. Wow.
So
I'm Nancy, and my name means grace. So that fits me.
and Nancy in New Zealand means you're a performer. You're being a Nancy. You're being dramatic.
Yeah. I used to be that way too.
But
yeah.
Also, you've been lucky in that sense. But where else have you been, successful in your life? Have you always got what you wanted, or have you had situations that you haven't been proud of, or whatever? Because it's connected to your name.
I was better off as a Craig than a Fortman.
Just goes to show you it's all in a name. And it's funny because that's the same with Michael's surname, my ex-husband. It was shortened because he was Yugoslav, and their family, the grandparents, came out to New Zealand. And when they came out to New Zealand, they dropped the Vich off. So Yakovic, the Vich got taken off, and it was Yarak. And so it's not even a name. It's not even a name. It's just a shortened name. That's why my kids didn't like it. And that you go to school or to somebody and they go, sorry, what name was that? How do you spell it? And I did that with my maiden name, Levins. So that's why I changed it to mum's name, Sendel, because it was a better name. But in saying that, plus I don't want to be connected to all my siblings. But, this is it just didn't help me. That name never got me anywhere. So you're right. That's what it's about. This is what happens with names. And we've got to find the one that is most suitable for your mission, for your new earth, for your rebuild, and what is connected to that vibration to make it better for you. Because once you get it, once I became Miriam and I said, yep, that's who I am, it changed. It changed overnight, my whole direction and guidance and everything I received. So, this is where I don't think people understand just how much it is. Like they said, contracts and name and everything just does not mix unless it's correct. And so we've got to get that balance back and bring it back into the new earth. It is going away, but we have to lead by example. And so it's going to help us to move forward and have some more success in our service and where we're going. And like you said, certain names bring in abundance. Other names keep you poor. It depends on the debris of energy in the name. And it's the same with first names. People just don't realize the connotations of a name.
No.
So it's a good subject. Okay, so I've got an activation here before we go into the meditation. And the activation is also a prayer. And it's from the masters of the register that sit in that 9D. Now, these light masters have all been given access to the register to manage for each and every one of you. And it's got lists of old names, new names, and of course, connected to your missions that you've done and operations that you've been in. So you can go back to any of those names and see which one you prefer. If you've got a shaman name you like, or a Lemurian name you prefer, whatever, you will find it through this today. Dear God, Register Masters, please show me the name that has the highest vibration for my service and purpose. Please support my name activation with love light so that it vibrates with my frequency, so that I am known and seen for my truth and for who I am. I come in trust, faith, to know what is best for me and for our light, to be complete with the true vibration that I am in a name. I ask that the transition of name for New Earth is an easy shift for all, and that we come to you for the guidance and support when needed. So in that case, when some parents want to name their New Earth kids, or the New Earth kids want to shorten it, or something like that, we can always go back and just check in. I am thankful that you are here with us, including the information about to be shared. We all appreciate you, dear Masters, and our Almighty Creator. Show us our name of the highest form. Give us guidance with the name that is designed for who I am. Help to understand the vibration that I am with this name. And all that is love, light, high consciousness, we give thanks and appreciation. And so it is. And then there's a little affirmation. I am highest consciousness name for my mission purpose of creating the new earth and for future generations. So that was it. Oof. It's the same if you've got a cat or a dog you want to name, or a pet.
Yeah.
You can go in there and ask. This is, look at the trouble I had trying to get Marla's name, and I was getting it almost, and then Teresa said, King Jerome says it's Marla, and I was trying to call her Nala. And what was the other one? Maggie. I knew it had an M. I could see the M very clearly. So that's another purpose you can do. If you want to do a service business, because the 2 gateway is coming, where you're going into partnerships now to create your service or to come together with some sort of opportunity for others to learn or to be part of for healing and that. You can go in there and you can get a name for yourselves. Like we have Rainbow Sisters, and we know we're Rainbow Sisters. So, it's the same with anything. You can go to the name register and just ask for their assistance, and they will give it to you, because that's where the vibration comes from. So if there's anything you want to change, it's good to be able to check in and have that to go to, because I feel there's going to be a lot of that coming up with New Earth. Even things like where you want to live, like sub areas of other areas. Go in and say, which area vibrates with my vibration best?
Oh, yeah.
You could go in there and ask them, does that name, that city down there, vibrate with this name? There's so much opportunity with this space. You can go in and use it with the advice that they give you. And a lot of people are stuck on where they should be right now because they're being moved around. You can feel it with the energies, everyone's awakening. They're finding their purpose, right? Where should I be? Should I be over here in Europe? Should I be over here in Africa or whatever? And so they can go in there and say, well, which vibration, what country name connects to my name that helps me to be in the best place for that purpose? So it's going to be a good one for those kind of things. And you're going to have people come to you and say like you, Nancy, you're going to have someone come to you for healing. They're going to say, look, I'm having trouble with my inner child. I'm having trouble with, vibrating. Is there anything anything else I can do? And you can say, well, there's a meditation here about what name you connected to. Go and have a look at that and your arrival day. See if they all work together and vibrate together, because if they don't, life is going to be difficult for you. So there's that. And that is why a lot of the Cabal deep state, with the transgenderism they changed their names. Same with celebrities and stars. They changed to stage names to get the success they wanted. It's all in a name. Cool, eh?
Mm.
So would that be like using the numerology
You can use,
to
yeah, you can use.
find out?
Oh, hang on a
I
minute.
use it for the cities that I go to. I use it for the names that I choose, what name I want to name my car, stuff like that.
Yeah. I'm just asking them because you know how they always say letters are connected to names? So, like you've got A is one, B is two, and so forth, and then add it up. They said you shouldn't
Right.
be doing that because what happens is the English language and the alphabet is a spell casting tool.
Okay.
So, we shouldn't be doing that. Only when it comes to the day that you arrive, that number is the day in the vibration, remember, we chose to come through on. But if you want to name your car and you're not sure, go in and do it here.
Well, I just do things on my vibration
Or, yeah, if you feel good about it.
because I'm on
Yeah,
a 7, so I keep it on a 1, 5, or 7. And I know that I'm good with that.
yeah. If your vibration's telling you, your soul's telling you, oh, that's a good name, or like me with Bluebell, I knew she was just Bluebell as soon as I saw her. I went, yeah, that feels right. And everyone calls her Bluebell. It was funny because even Caleb got in the other day and he went, oh, it's good to see you, Bluebell. She's got her own little personality. So, yeah, you're right. So you go by your energy. And if you're in the right energy, again, your name and all the information you're receiving in that name, then everything else will be okay. But don't use the numbers because, again, the alphabet was created, wasn't real. We're going to go back to signing our names with a symbol, and the symbols were carved in the rock in Africa. We're going back to symbolism, not alphabetical. So there's that to think about too, which we'll be doing more work on down the track.
Okay.
Because we all have symbols.
I was just reading something about that. The 10 things that they're not letting you use, and symbols was one of the things. So because they're bringing them in, they're not letting you use them now. Apparently.
Interesting.
Very, very well, but I mean, how would you sign a symbol?
You would draw it.
Yeah.
Like a light code on the dotted line.
Oh, okay, I get it. That makes sense.
Like I've seen what mine looks like. I'll show it to you. I got it the other day actually. So mine's kind of like, well, it's kind of like that. It's not, it's just rough. See that?
Yeah.
Yeah, curly sort of top, line, line, line. So that's what we'll be signing on our bank accounts and contracts, and that in the future will be, everything will be done by your symbol, which cannot be hacked because it's vibrational symbolism, which will be our digital, new Jasara and Nasara money and stuff like that. That like a fingerprint, but it's your symbol print, imprint of who you are. So it's quite cool that that's coming, because when they told me about that, I was like, yeah, that makes more sense to me, because I've never ever been happy about signing my name. I hate signing my name, because what are you signing away? Are you signing away your rights and your freedom?
Yeah.
Basically.
When you put a symbol on it, you're approving something. When you're signing away, you're signing and giving away. There's a difference to the energy of it. So, okay, so let's go in and do this meditation. So, where are we going? We're going into that ninth dimension in between the 7 and the 12, where our souls go to get our arrival day and our name. And this is really important, because where we go into this space, there's no interference, there's nothing. It's pureness, it's clear, it's clean. And you'll see masters, and I'm talking about light beings. They're pure light beings. Like if you imagine the ascended masters and you're wanting to look at, say, Mary, and you just see the pure white soul. So you see pure white souls. They may show their faces. I don't know. But what I've been getting is a line of just pure white souls. And they're very high consciousness, and they have been given the important responsibility of passing on them and registering the information. And they have all sorts of registers. It's not just a piece of paper and you flick through the book and there's all these names. It's dimensional. It's connected to your soul and your soul name and your contracts and your past lives and everything. And you'll be attracted to one of them, and you'll go to them and you'll say, right, I stand before you and ask you, which is the best vibration for me to be under at the moment? Or can you tell me what my soul name is so I can understand more about myself? Or is there a name that I should know from a past life that I can reconnect with in this life? You know, there's so many opportunities here now for our purpose. So set an intention and go in there and find out. But if you're happy with Nancy, maybe your mother heard she's going to be named Nancy. And so it's worked for you, you know. So find out,
No, it hasn't worked.
you know, and then name, soul name or whatever.
Yeah.
And sometimes, interesting enough, they gave your middle name, which never really got much attention, as the name that you should have been. So look at your
It's
middle.
my grandmother's name.
And a lot of your middle names were connected to ancestors, like your grandmothers, your great grandmothers, and things like that. But again, you're taking on that debris. And if you like it, clear it. Just clear any debris around it, anything associated with it while you're there today. So it's up to you, really, what you want to do with it. Set an intention, go in there and do it.
Yeah.
Hey, how many of you done the inner child activation? I've been doing it, and you know what? The funny thing is, yeah, Val, you know what? I was doing it the other day, and I was moving out like that with my arms. It's really hard, and my shoulders cracked. And I went, "Oh my god, what was that noise?" And I went, and I heard this almighty crack, and then I was reminded I had a cracked collarbone as a child. And so I re-cracked it or reset it, because man, it was loud. I was going like this. It was really loud. So, you know, just clearing all that guarded information from child and woundedness, you're opening it up, you're freeing it. So and you do
I do that at the beach.
Yeah, people
They're walking.
People watch you.
People want to try and look at you.
I'm free.
We're good over here.
See, everyone's energy is lifted. When you do it, it does lift the energy. It really does. It's such a beautiful exercise. And I really thank them for channeling that, because so many people guard that space. And you see old ladies all humped over and guarded. Oh man.
We had to learn that in choir. It stretches your diaphragm. So it moves the air in and out. So yeah, that's the part of singing. They teach, yes, the column.
Yeah. And the flow, it flows, everything flows freer, right?
Yeah, but you want to be in alignment too.
Yeah, you got to have all the rest of it all aligned. But I tell you what, when my shoulder cracked the other day, I was ready to ring an ambulance. I thought, shivers, what have I done? And then it all freed up. It was like, wow, that's good.
I've been waiting for you to do it.
That happened to me a couple of weeks ago. I was doing something because I had dislocated the shoulder 20 minutes ago. And I made a movement and it cracked. And I went, what? And I felt it, and it felt like it had gone back into where it should have been.
Yeah.
That they didn't set it right. So
it set itself because you cleared it. Cleared all the energy associated with it. So, it works. It's a good one. Get your kids to do it, get your grandkids to do it. It's a good one. I had Willow doing it and she was sitting on the floor going, she'd do this, she'd have her legs crossed and she'd go, and Tamara says, Luna, she's putting her arms up.